Your report says we remain concerned about the world's most important bilateral relationship.
Right.
You mentioned earlier in this interview that you're not too worried about the trade war going crazy.
Not this year.
So what area is the most dangerous between the U.S. and China?
I mean, it kind of, what's most dangerous is that we are going to have on March 1, or thereabouts, March 1 is a deadline imposed by Trump, we're going to have some sort of announcement that says we've made huge progress between Xi Jinping and Trump, both for different reasons,
right.
But aligned. We are going to say no move to 25% tariffs, and they're going to buy more American soybeans, and the trade deficit's not going to be as bad, and things are awesome. And yet, it's a bad patch job on a house that's falling down.
Right.
And what we know is that on every major structural issue, whether it's big architecture like One Belt, One Road, or whether it's Taiwan or the South China Sea or the East China Sea, or whether it's intellectual property and theft, or whether it's technology and AI and their treatment of those companies, and American firms that can't invest in China, don't have access to the market, Chinese companies that are getting hit in the US, Huawei and all the rest, or the rollout of 5G, all of this are the two largest countries in the world coming to loggerheads. So again, 2019 doesn't necessarily feel, at least the beginning of 2019 is going to feel good, but it's going to become increasingly obvious that we are on a very dangerous path.
Ian, you know, I'm sure you're well aware of a very new attitude in Washington, D.C. toward China.
Yes.
It's been described in dozens of articles. In a nutshell, it's more confrontational.
Much more hawkish.
Less engagement, more confrontation.
It's Peter Navarro, it's Michael Pillsbury.
Pillsbury's
yeah,
influential.
I was just with him a week ago. I mean, clearly he believes that like China's going to take over the world, and they mean to take it from us, right? That's
zero sum.
Very zero sum.
So
and trade is the non-zero sum piece of the U.S. China relationship right now, though it's becoming more zero sum if you believe that supply chains are becoming shorter. With the post-industrial, fourth industrial revolution, if you don't need capital, and if you don't need labor for capital, and Chinese labor is getting more expensive, then why would you build all of your stuff in China? So I can even imagine that the U.S.-China trade relationship is going to become somewhat more zero-sum than it has been. But in technology, where the Chinese are developing their own tech standards, tech companies that are separate from ours, zero-sum. Defense, obviously, zero-sum, security dilemma. Increasingly architecture, we thought the Chinese were going to align with our architecture, the IMF and the World Bank, and instead they start building their own, becoming more zero-sum. So the major aspects of Chinese and American power that interact with each other are becoming more zero-sum. And we know that the way you avoid conflict is by interdependency. Is by being too big to fail, by people needing you, right? That's how you
the liberal idea. Right?
That's, well, I mean, it's not just the liberal idea. I mean, realpolitik people understand that. It's also interdependence theory. It's both. But no matter how you look at it ideologically, whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that U.S. is becoming more confrontational towards China and the Chinese are becoming more assertive globally, it is clear that the relationship overall, it's the most important relationship in the world, is heading towards confrontation. And the announcements coming in the next couple months, which will be positive, should fool nobody.